There is something I'm about to tell you that most scientists know, but rarely say directly, not because it's wrong, not because it's unproven, but because once you truly understand it, you can't see reality the same way again. For years, we believed the universe was everything, all that exists, all that ever will exist. But what if I told you our universe might be just one among countless others, not imagined, not fictional, real, existing right now, beyond what we can ever see? And if that's true, then this changes everything about your existence. Stay with me till the end, because what you'll realize might disturb you and inspire you at the same time. Imagine standing alone in complete darkness. No stars, no galaxies, no time, as you understand it, just nothing. Now suddenly, without warning, everything explodes into existence. Energy, light, space. This is what we call the beginning of our universe, the Big Bang. For decades, scientists believed this was the absolute beginning of everything, a singular moment where time itself was born. But here's the problem. When we try to describe that moment using our best physics, the equations break. They don't give answers. They give infinities. And in science, infinity doesn't mean we found the truth. It means we don't understand what's happening. So if our theories fail at the very beginning, how can we be so sure that was truly the beginning? Think about that for a second. What if the Big Bang wasn't the start? What if it was just one event in something much bigger? And if that's true, then where are we, really? Now let's go deeper. Modern physics suggests something strange. At the smallest level of reality, things don't behave the way we expect. Particles appear and disappear. Energy fluctuates randomly. This is the world of quantum physics. And in this world, nothing is not actually empty. It's full of potential. Tiny fluctuations happening constantly. Now imagine this. What if our entire universe began as one of these fluctuations? Not unique, not special, just one event in an endless sea of possibilities. This idea leads to something extraordinary, the possibility that universes are constantly being created, again and again and again. Each one separate, each one with different rules, different physics, different outcomes. Some universes collapse instantly, some never form stars, some never allow life, but a few, very rare ones, look exactly like ours, and in one of those rare universes, you exist. But here's the question that should bother you. If universes can form randomly, how many are there? Now imagine an ocean, not made of water, but made of reality itself. In this ocean, bubbles are constantly forming. Each bubble is a universe. Most bubbles pop instantly. Some expand, but remain empty. And a few develop structure. Galaxies, stars, life. Our universe could be one of those bubbles, floating in something far larger, something we cannot see, cannot touch, cannot escape. This idea is known as the multiverse, and it's not science fiction. It comes directly from serious physics, from equations, from observations, from attempts to understand how reality works. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. If there are countless universes, then ours is not special, not unique, just one possibility among infinite others. And if that's true, then everything you've ever known is just one version of reality. Now let me ask you something. What determines the laws of physics? Why is gravity this strong and not stronger? Why do atoms exist instead of collapsing? Why does the universe allow life at all? These are not small questions, because if any of these values were slightly different, you wouldn't be here. Stars wouldn't form. Chemistry wouldn't exist. Life would be impossible. So why does our universe have exactly the right conditions? There are two possibilities. Either it was designed, or we are simply in one of the rare universes where life is possible. In the multiverse idea, the second explanation wins. Because if there are infinite universes, then every possible version of physics exists somewhere. And naturally, we find ourselves in one that allows us to exist, not because it was meant for us, but because we couldn't exist anywhere else. Think about that. You are not in a special universe. You are in a possible one. Now here's where things become deeply unsettling. If there are infinite universes, then somewhere there is another version of you, making different choices, living a different life. Maybe in one universe, you succeeded. In another, you failed. In one, you never existed. And in another, everything is slightly off. Different laws, different reality, but still conscious, still aware. This is not proven, but the mathematics allows it. And that's what makes it dangerous. Because once you accept the possibility, you can't ignore it. Reality becomes bigger, stranger, and far less certain. So now I want you to pause and ask yourself, if this is true, then what does it mean to exist? Scientists don't talk about this casually, not because it's impossible, but because of what it implies. If the multiverse is real, then our universe is not the full picture. It's just a tiny part, like a single grain of sand in an endless desert. And beyond what we can observe, there may be realities completely different from ours. Universes where time flows differently, space has more dimensions, physics behaves in ways we cannot imagine, and we will never see them. Because the distance between universes is not measured in space, it's measured in reality itself. This is why scientists are careful, because explaining this changes how people think. It removes certainty. It replaces simple answers with deeper questions. But maybe that's not a bad thing, because the truth was never meant to be simple. If you've made it this far, you're already thinking differently. And trust me, what comes next is even more disturbing, so don't skip. Watch till the end, because the final idea might completely change how you see yourself. And if you're enjoying this kind of deep content, make sure to subscribe, because we're only getting started. Now let's go one step further. What if the multiverse isn't just many universes? What if it's infinite, not just big, infinite? That means every possible outcome exists somewhere, every decision, every variation, every version of reality. This leads to a terrifying idea. Nothing is truly unique. Everything that can happen does happen somewhere, and that includes you, but also every possible version of you. This idea challenges something fundamental: identity. What does it mean to be you if infinite versions exist? Is your life special, or just one path among infinite paths? This is where physics becomes philosophy and where science starts to feel almost existential. Now, I want to bring you back to something simple. You sitting here, watching this, thinking, questioning, trying to understand something so massive. It goes beyond imagination, and yet you are doing it. A being made of atoms, trying to understand the structure of reality itself. That alone is extraordinary because regardless of how many universes exist, this one produced something unique: awareness, consciousness, the ability to ask, why? And maybe that's the real point. Not how many universes exist, but the fact that in at least one, the universe became aware of itself through you. So, where does this leave us? We started with a simple idea that our universe is everything, but now we're facing a much bigger picture, a reality where our universe may be just one of many, where countless universes may exist beyond what we can ever observe, where different laws, different outcomes are constantly playing out. And in the middle of all this, you exist, not as the center of reality, but as a part of it, a thinking, aware, questioning part. And maybe that's what truly matters. Not whether the multiverse exists, not how many universes there are, but the fact that we are here asking these questions, trying to understand something so vast, it almost feels impossible. And yet, we keep going. We keep exploring. We keep learning. Because that's what makes us human. If this video made you think, if it changed even a small part of how you see reality, then let me know in the comments. I really want to hear your thoughts. And if you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe. Because the deeper we go, the more incredible things become. And trust me, this is just the beginning.